Mm-hmm.
Dramatic turn, just for tradition's sake. Hi. Hello, YouTube. Not much of a pre-show this week because we're pretty much ready. Well, I am.
We started talking before the thing was
We did.
started.
Well, we haven't spoken in a week or so, so we've been catching up without you. Does my mic sound all right, by the way?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Cool.
Do I sound fine?
As well as you ever do.
Yeah. Oh, hang on.
He's off. Oh, yes! I forgot about that. See, it comes in different... I forgot about that. It comes in different colours, people. Your choice of colour. Get one.
Your choice of colour.
It was Jeremy's birthday the week of recording, so happy birthday, Jeremy. He's 42 now.
Yes, it's hard to believe.
And he's just put his cloak on.
I look good for my age.
Well preserved is the word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I haven't started the audio yet. So are you good to go? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Is YouTube good to go?
Yes, I'm already recording. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is probably something, shouldn't do this in the pre-show, but I need a new opening. The one I'm doing is horrible, and I don't like it.
What? Why?
I don't know.
You just need more oomph in it. Put more zest in it.
I just don't like it.
Say welcome.
Welcome! No, because then I get told off by certain members of my household for using my radio voice. Hey, grade mate.
Learn from Traegard.
What, Crazy Eyes? Welcome to serial viewing.
We should do a Halloween-themed episode now.
We should, shouldn't we? Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, all right. Right, I'm going to start audio.
Wait, let's clap.
Well, I need to start my audio first.
Yeah.
So we can clap. Okay, we're recording. Right.
Mm-hmm.
3, and what are we going on again?
The usual.
3, what's that? 3, 2, 1, go?
1.
Or 3, 2, 1?
3, 2, 1, because...
I better cock this up. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. No, see, that was terrible. That was rough. So I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and then
I said 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, so 3, 2, 1, and then we clap on go. Okay.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1. Go.
You didn't clap.
I'll just do this, and you catch up. Right.
I'm sure we've got something now.
One more time. 3, 2, 1, go.
You said go.
And then I hesitated. So that's it. That's what we're going with.
Let me do it.
So, okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
That was on mine.
Good. Okay. It wasn't mine.
We'll go with that one.
It was go.
God, it's like watching two chimps. Sakes. And I need to do. I keep punching my microphone. I need to do something about that, but not right now. Okay.
Count how many times I messed with my my pop filter today. It will always happen.
That's a good point. It's the pop filter I'm actually punching. So let me just.
Once the audio is in,
Hello.
that I have to edit out now.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Roll the credits.
Okay.
Yeah.
3. And then I play the wrong one. Brilliant.
Roll the intro.
Hang on. Sorry. I need to start again. Can you hear that?
No.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What? I never hear it.
Yeah, but I kind of need you to.
Why?
Because I'm going to play the... Hey, let's stop the audio.
Whoa, what's going on? What's different?
I've got the voicemail.
Oh.
I need you to hear the voicemail so you can react to it.
Why don't you just react to it. And then tell me what they say.
No, that's not going to work. It's like 2 minutes long.
Okay, how are we going to do that then?
What about if I email it to you?
Okay.
And then when I say, okay, we got a voicemail, yada yada yada, I'll go.
Sure.
Oh, okay, right. Right. Apologies, YouTube. You're now going to very excitingly watch me send an email. This is quality content. This is.
I don't actually know which one we're doing first,
Henry's cat first.
by the way.
Henry's cat.
Oh, you spoiled it.
Well, considering when this is sent out, there's going to be like the episode title down the bottom.
Well, that suspense just gone.
Well, this is going to take a few minutes because I've got so much running on my computer at the moment that my email doesn't want to work.
Yes, my Discord is freezing slightly, having everything open as well.
Right, come on.
It'll settle.
So what shows have you been watching, YouTube? Go to our website and leave us a voicemail and tell us what you've been watching.
Uh-huh.
Did you watch Battle of the Planets?
Sure.
I know you did.
I didn't.
What, even for the show? You just made it up.
Yep.
Well, this is going to be the longest pre-show.
I was about to, there we go. I haven't put my show notes up yet.
I have not. No, you're correct.
I was going to read some out. I haven't read your show notes for Battle of the Planets yet.
Well, there you go.
Nice heroic opening credits. You make it like a formal business report. Good introduction. From beyond space?
How can this be? How can you be from beyond space?
Very 70s, early 80s.
Which, funny
Sevens
that,
seven
considering
sucks.
that's when it was made.
Blatant R2-D2 ripoff.
Blatant. Right.
Also, Casey Kasem was in... his wife was in Ghostbusters as well. I didn't realize.
Was she?
Yeah.
I did
She's
not know
that blonde chick. That Rick
Moranis.
Moranis dances. She's at his party.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah. I didn't realize. Like, I was looking up because I went back through everything.
Have you figured out who Casey Kasem is yet?
Yeah.
He's Shaggy.
He's done. Yeah, he's done loads of voices.
He's done a lot.
Like...
Right. Sorry, I've emailed that to you now.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have a spot the Casey Kasem in every episode from now on, if there is one. Stop. Don't listen now.
Well, check. You've got it. Should be Pedro.
Preloaded it.
Pedro Morales.
Oops. I don't know. It just says MP3.
That's the badger. Well, make sure you can listen to it. Otherwise, I'm going to be waving at the camera, and you're not going to hear anything.
I can listen to it.
Fine.
I have faith in technology.
Oh yeah, because that goes. Oh yeah, actually, technology's fine. It's us. Right, I'm going to restart my audio now. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, me too.
Thank you for your patience, YouTube. We love you.
Delete selected.
Yeah. Okay, I'm back on. You know what this means? We've got to do it again, though.
Okay.
Count us in.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Look, it's fine on my end. It's always fine on my end.
It's never fun on my end.
I know. I don't get it.
Ah, stop. There we go.
Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to start now. Hello and welcome to Serial Viewing. This is Henry and Jeremy. We're here to watch children's shows televisions. Children's shows television. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Keep it in.
You just get it. No, it's too late. It's too late.
Children's shows television. Oh, for fuck's sake. I was going to keep it in, just bleep the F out.
No, fuck it.
Yeah, but then we start laughing.
Yeah. See, I go and try and change it and it just screws up. Right, let's go. Audio back on.
Hang on, I haven't stopped mine yet. Wait. Okay.
Okay.
Mine's back on. Right. Hang on. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
It's my fault.
I didn't clap on go.
Okay, I clapped before you said go. Okay, go.
Oh, it was fine. Okay, fuck it. 3, 2, 1, go.
That'll do.
Whatever. Yeah.
It'll do.
I just used my ear.
Right, okay. Starting the title music again. Hello and welcome to Serial Viewing. Join us on the couch as we look back at old children's television shows to see if they're as good or as bad as you remember. They're usually good. Oh no, they're terror bad. That's what they're, terror good. With me on the couch is Jeremy.
Hi.
Hello, Jeremy. How are you this week?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm alright. Have you recovered from Battle of the Planets extravaganza?
It was fantastic.
It was flare-tastic is what it was.
Flare.
Well, this week we are watching a classic of British television, Henry's Cat. Henry's Cat is a cartoon series that follows the adventures of a small yellow cat and his friends. A typical cat, he likes nothing better than to eat and sleep. That's it. It ran for 5 series from 1983 to 1993, so we've got a decade in there, totaling a mere 51 episodes. I know I've heard of Henry's Cat, for reasons I will explain. Have you ever heard of Henry's Cat before?
Briefly, for the similar reasons you have.
Oh, probably not for the same reasons I have.
Not for the same reasons, but for similar reasons. From you, basically.
So we watched 2 episodes because they are quite short. We watched the first 2 episodes, The Hobby and The Race. They're all fairly short names. In The Hobby, Henry's Cat decides that he watches a program about hobbies on television, and he decides that he could quite like a hobby, so he goes around and talks to various people about that. And in The Race, Henry's Cat's friend Chris Rabbit, who possibly has some mental health issues, bounces up to him and kind of starts a race. I'm not quite sure about that one.
Yeah.
So if you've never seen Henry's Cat before, it is a very simple animation style. The stories are quite short. It is aimed at younger children, so we're probably going to be quite brutal for something that doesn't deserve it. So we'll jump. Do you remember the opening credits? Did you like the opening credits?
Yeah, I mean, it was short and sweet, like a lot of British TV shows.
It was. I think it was because it was initially only a 5-minute show. They didn't have a lot of time to waste on credits. So, but it was exceedingly simple. I don't know if you noticed that Henry's Cat doesn't really move in it.
Not often.
In the credits, his name pops up, and you've got the meow, the noise, and he's standing there on a step ladder, and then his image he's holding his arm out, and then his image just moves up suddenly. There's no animation, and the name just kind of fills in with color, and that's it.
I reckon that's meant to imitate something quite childlike. I think because Henry's cat is from a storybook, right?
Not that I know of. I couldn't find any reference to a
Isn't it?
storybook. No, it was created by
Oh,
a
I thought
guy
it was.
called Stan Hayward and directed by Bob Godfrey.
Rob Bob.
Bob Godfrey. He also produced other British TV shows of the same ilk, like Rhubarb and Custard. I know you know that one. And Noah and Nellie in Skylark.
The name sounds briefly familiar.
I've never heard of the second one. Rhubarb and Custard was one of the greatest TV theme tunes of all time that nobody outside of England.
Cat and a dog.
It was a cat and a dog. Rhubarb was the dog, and Custard was the cat.
I feel like, well, I mean, now you've said Rhubarb and Custard, I get the similarities.
You can see the similarities, can't you?
Yeah, they're very, very similar. I think they maybe put a little bit more money into Rhubarb and Custard.
Do you know what you've hit on something I was saving for later, and the impression I got from the whole series, from the animation, the music, the voiceover, was budget.
Yeah.
They didn't have a lot of money to spend, but I think they did quite well with what it was.
It's a bit like a knockoff Garfield.
Yes, it really is. It's a much more British Garfield.
Yeah.
But I always found I don't like Garfield. I find Garfield quite depressing. Garfield himself I don't know if he's got more snarky over the years, and it's actually quite dark and depressing.
Well, the original comics are less like that. He's just lazy.
Yeah,
and he's a cat.
There's no element of fun in Garfield anymore. In the cartoon, in the comic strip, it's just, Mondays. That's it. That's the whole show. that's pretty much it. So yeah, this is probably the British version. They've honed in on things like eating and sleeping, which I'm okay with that.
Seems pretty British.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, that's the thing. I made a note. I think this might be called Henry's cat because they literally beat you over the head with it. Because it's like Henry's cat, Henry's cat, Henry's cat.
Oh, yeah.
Here comes Henry's cat. There's Henry's cat. Henry's cat says, "Is it called Henry's cat by any chance?"
What I want to know is where's Henry?
So Henry, he never appears on screen, and the name is thought to be an allusion to an earlier collaboration between Stan Hayward and Bob Godfrey, called Henry 9 till 5. Henry was a bowler-hatted commuter who escaped his boring everyday life by daydreaming, some of which were of a sexual nature, so it was a slightly more adult version. So Henry's cat shares some of Henry's tendencies towards imagination and being a very laid-back approach to life. That's a theory that's never been proved, because there is no other explanation for the name Henry's cat.
Well, yeah. Unless they just picked the name out of nothing.
Yeah. So in The Hobby, it starts off and Henry's at home. Henry's at home watching a documentary about hobbies. And Henry thinks Henry's cat finds this very interesting. So he then decides to go off and figure out what everyone else's hobbies are. Although one of the people's on television, his hobby is collecting bicycle clips. That joke probably hasn't aged very well.
No.
How many children today will know what a bicycle clip is? Do you know what a bicycle clip is?
I do, but I wouldn't be able to point one out on a bike. I know what it does.
See, there you go. It's not on a bike.
Oh, there we go.
A bicycle. There's education time with Henry. A bicycle clip is something that a gentleman used to put on their ankles to hold their trousers in, so they didn't flap and get caught up in the chain or the spokes or anything.
So I wrote down because I'm a nerd. Bicycle clip used by Napoleon, because bicycles hadn't really been invented by that time.
It's just a shit joke.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
but
that
there
it
you
was
go. You've
so
proved
great.
you've proved my point. Look,
Yeah.
children today won't know what a bicycle clip is because you didn't know what a bicycle clip. I
No,
I'm fairly certain I owned a pair when I was very young, but
you probably did.
I probably did. I vaguely they were seriously all they were these really thin pieces of metal clip that were in this shape and they could flex out and
Hmm.
you just put them over your trousers to hold the flappy bit down at the bottom.
We'll look it up.
See, educational. So yeah,
Yes.
there was him, and I know you noticed the next one. So you've got
Yeah.
you've, now
Yeah, we know the next one.
yeah. So the next one was a Chinaman who taught his birds to sing or something.
Uh,
Do you know what? I
he
don't even know what
taught
he did. I was so shocked by the Chinaman.
he taught a fish to jump up and down or something, and then it went and it played that stereotypical Chinese, or stereotypical Asian racist song.
Now I'm going to defend this a little bit in that it
Okay.
was shocking, but it wasn't.
He said Chinaman.
Well, he's a man from China.
I know,
Is
but like
Is
that's
China?
just something
I don't. I genuinely
you
ask you:
associate with old.
is Chinaman a negative term? Is it
I
is it
think
racist?
I think I've heard it used in a derogatory sense before. I don't think it itself is offensive,
Yeah.
but it's like, I mean, like I guess like Englishman, but like it's the fact that like they said there was a man and then there was a Chinaman.
Chinaman with
Yeah.
yellow skin and slanted eyes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that wasn't
very
great.
very stereotypical.
Wasn't
He even
great.
had one of the hats.
But
as
you got to
well.
remember, this is, 1983, early 80s. This is where we've still got white stand-up comedians doing that, holding their eyes out with and going, "Oh, hello." What were we thinking?
Well, yeah, yeah,
So I wrote after they went through because there was that one. There was a girl who liked to paint with her feet and jumped all over the room. I think there was another one. And I
yeah,
wrote after that. This is still not as weird as real hobbies.
yeah.
This is actually quite normal.
Because they did a game show like this a couple of years ago, didn't they? Whereas you had to like whoever was the most nerdiest about their hobby won, and
I don't know if they did, but I want to see
and there
it.
were some weird hobbies.
I want to see
wasn't
it.
there? I remember.
I mean, my
Yeah,
hobbies
yeah,
are
they did it for
tame.
It's a series of Sky, I think.
Oh, of
But
course
it-
they did. It would be
Yeah.
on Sky. Yeah, so he goes out. This is great because he goes out and he finds Douglas Dog. I think it was Douglas. I can't remember. He looked around and found people doing hobbies, and there was
Sammy Snail.
Sammy Snail. Oh, Sammy Snail was doing the tightrope walking, wasn't he?
Yep, yep.
And then I can't remember what else. There else was doing it. And then his mate Christopher Rabbit,
Mhm.
comes bouncing up. And Christopher Rabbit's hobby is looking for UFOs,
Yeah.
which seemed a very exciting hobby to Henry's cat. And then, so Christopher Rabbit, he's peering around with his binoculars. Oh, there's one, and he writes down its registration number, which did make me giggle. And then
Yeah.
it did me like, there's a strange man behind a bush
Yeah.
with binoculars. I said,
I wrote
stranger
that
danger,
down.
stranger danger, run!
I wrote that down.
Yeah, so
Strange man behind a bush.
So 83, a much more innocent time. There's a strange old man behind a bush with binoculars who, I mean, he's bird watching. That's why he's got the binoculars. But the strange old man that you've never met before, he comes over and talks to you about his hobby. He sees you with binoculars, and then he invites you back to his house for cake.
Yeah.
Stranger danger.
What could go wrong?
Don't go with the strange man with the big bushy eyebrows.
So to me, the stranger looked like a cross between Bill Oddie and Nigel Thornberry from the Thornberrys.
Yes.
Yes.
But that just struck me as really, even back then, that just sort of was that's the
Yeah.
wrong message.
It's a little weird, isn't
Yeah,
it?
you don't just meet strange men in parks, especially strange men in parks, and go back to their house to have cake and carrots.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Okay, I know rabbits like carrots, but Christopher Rabbit, when they were sat at the table, so you've got cakes and trifles and all kinds of nonsense all over the table, but Christopher Rabbit's got a carrot.
Carrot and cake.
Because but it wasn't. It was literally just a carrot. Well, they were carrots. Is he a vegan? It's just stereotyping.
Maybe.
It's terrible. And then the conclusion of it was that perhaps eating would be a good hobby for Henry's cat, which
Hmm.
I'm okay with that.
More of a necessity rather than a hobby, I'd say.
So Bob Godfrey, who did the voice for Henry, he did actually the voice for everyone. So he produced it, and he did all the voices for it, which again leads me to think it was a budget production.
Well, to me, it seems like it's pointing at the whole. Let's make a TV show that is like a kid's book,
Yeah,
like, because of all the images as well. They're quite still. I mean, there's a couple of animation parts, but like most of them are quite jumped.
so you reckon that was a deliberate choice rather than lack of
I mean,
money?
it was probably a bit of both. Like they wanted to make a kids show. They didn't get a lot of money to do it, but they thought, let's make it in the style
Yeah.
of it.
Well, that style. Yes, you're right. It does. It looks like, as you turn the pages of a book, that each frame does look
Yeah.
like a kid's book. But that was, I mean, that was almost my childhood, because Henry's Cat and Rhubarb and Custard and the other ones, and there was quite a few like this. Pob, no Pob, yeah, I think it was Pob.
Pop.
Anyway, it's an old TV show, but that again, that was a very simple background. There wasn't really much there, and I don't know if it was designed just to draw the children's eye or so. Yeah, but I agree. It does look a lot like a book.
Like Mr. Men.
Now, I did write in my notes: is he really the best voice actor they can find?
Yeah.
And and I don't know. It's almost like he's, like you said, he's reading the book. So it's it's dad reading the book and doing all the silly voices, and Christopher Rabbit
Yeah.
talks like this, and whatever.
Hate Henry's cat's voice with a passion. Oh,
Oh, it's just rude.
that's not very nice.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's not what you expect
It's
out of his.
so grating. Ugh. So bad.
So we watched 2 episodes. That was the hobby, and then we watched the race. And I actually found the race genuinely funny in places, as simple as it was. So just to recap that one, Henry's cat has just finished clearing out his loft. He's cleared out the attic. He's got all this rubbish outside, and he sat there. He's gonna have a little snooze in the sun and wait for the binman to show up to take it all away. When Christopher, I may have ADHD, rabbit comes bouncing up and says, "Oh, let's have a race," and then bounces off again, and then comes back, "Oh, I won!" And he's going, "What? What just happened?" So he says, "All right, then, that's not a proper race. A proper race is with running and swimming and stuff." And so you end up, the rabbit bounces off and tells everyone about this amazing idea for he's going to do this and there's going to be prizes and everything, and then they all have a race, except no one's doing the same thing. So the rabbit's running up and down, and someone's swimming, and someone's barking, someone's like competitively sleeping. The pig is competitively eating.
Yeah.
And then after an hour, Henry's cat thinks it's about time that all this finished, so he just stands up and goes, "Right, that's it, it's done." They all line up for prizes. He's like, "Oh, I've got to give out prizes." So he takes everyone back to his house and hands out all the rubbish that he's just cleared out of his attic. And they're all really happy about it. It's a great idea. It's good recycling. Excellent message. Well done, Henry's cat. Very simple, stupid beyond belief. Made me giggle a little bit. It's not going to lie.
Yeah, it's less that whole weird cartoon stupid. It's more that whole simple.
Yes.
It's very simple. And it ended. Did you see it ended with a wholesome message about how, although the human race couldn't solve its problems, Henry's cat could solve his race.
But yes, I did get that. And Christopher Rabbit was exceedingly exciting about the hot water bottle he got.
Yes.
So what it looked, I wrote it down. Is what it looked like. It was like a group of very young children playing
Mm.
with less arguing. Because there would have been lots of arguing and no, but that's what it was. It was that's all I could think of. Was a bunch of kids messing around.
To be fair, what bothered me a bit was the fact that they were all doing their stereotypical animal things, and
But
like so stereotypical that the rabbit was actually running and the duck was like swimming and like the tortoise was being slow and sleepy and the pig was eating and the dog was barking and it's just
well,
eh.
we've had this conversation about stereotypes before. Is
Mhm.
it lazy writing or is it shorthand that kids get?
I would say it would have been shorthand, but in the last episode, all their hobbies were just nothing to do with the animals.
Do you
Like the
mean
bulldog was taking care of its flowers and stuff.
that rabbits don't UFO watch?
Exactly.
Yeah, every all children know that pigs are greedy and like to eat, and tortoises are slow and tired. So yeah, I'd go with it just being a just shorthand. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that and give it just
I won't.
shorthand. You won't.
I hate them.
Um, so Stan Hayward, who created it. Oh, see, I'm going back on myself here because I said there was no real explanation for why he was called Henry's Cat. But the reason Henry's
Right.
Cat doesn't have a name was on a DVD that was released in 2000 by Stan Hayward. And the explanation was that Henry, an unseen character in the series, had been Henry's Cat's original owner, but he had moved away. And Henry's Cat had just forgotten to go with him. But because Henry's Cat is lazy and has got a terrible memory, he forgot his own name. So everyone just referred to him as Henry's Cat.
Wow.
That's not convincing or good.
I feel like he should just call himself Henry.
Well,
He remembers that he's Henry's cat.
Well, when I was young, I thought that was his name.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew the show was called Henry's Cat, and I knew he was Henry's cat, but I still refer to him as Henry. Well, we might as well get over this now. My name is Henry. There is a TV show called Henry's Cat. If I had money for every time a younger me heard, "Oh, Henry, where's your cat, Henry?" Wow, yeah, fuck off. It's like that thing where like a professional painter will be painting and then somebody will pass and go, "Oh, Mr. Spot." But they don't know. It doesn't occur to them that the person 30 seconds ago walked past and went, "Oh, Mr. Spot," and there goes someone else, "Mr. Spot." So after 2 hours, you've heard 32 people say "Mr. Spot," and you want to jam a paintbrush up their nose. Same
What
thing.
I mean. It's
Same
simple.
thing. Henry's Cat. So I had a Henry's Cat soft toy when I was younger, and I was talking to my mother about it over the weekend, and she still got him. So
She?
yeah, so apparently he went. They tried to sell him at a car boot sale like a month ago, randomly, and he didn't sell,
Okay.
which I'm not sure if I'm happy about or not. But I've asked her to take a picture of him and send it to me so I can put it up on our Instagram account so everyone can see a true piece of serial viewing history in the toy I had when I was like 8.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I like it. Although it probably still smells like you.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Do you smell? What do you mean? I smell like I've been in a bin bag for 13 years.
Just that stench has festered.
So there were 2 technical bad guys of the show. We didn't see them in these episodes. There was Farmer Giles, a human farmer, the only human in the show, who had a West Country accent, who was frequently inconvenienced by Henry's Cat's adventures. So not so much as a bad guy, just someone who's rightfully annoyed. And Constable Bulldog, a stern policeman who takes a very dim view of the gang's well-meaning escapades. Again, probably just, dude, you're breaking the law. Could you knock it off?
I thought he was just another character in the beginning.
I thought Constable Bulldog, because we last episode, Battle of the Planets, we've started a mustache count. Because there's not enough children's TV shows with mustaches. And I could have sworn blind that Constable Bulldog had a mustache, and I was heartily disappointed when he didn't.
He probably does in some other ones.
Yeah. Well, he looks. If you showed me everything but his top lip, you go, yeah, he's got a mustache. He looks like someone who should have one. And then there's Rum Bar Bar, a criminal mastermind and the world's most evil sheep. I kind of wish we'd watched one with him in, because
Yeah.
that sounds pretty cool. Evil sheep are always fun.
You know where Zootopia got it from?
Yeah, it could be. There's a movie. I like that one. So the 2 episodes we watched were about 5 minutes long, very brief.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't. If I'd have known what I'm about to tell you before we'd watched them, we would have watched different ones, because series 1 and 2 were 5 minutes long. It proved so popular that series 3 and 4 were moved up to 15 minutes long, with much more expanded shows. And then for some reason, series 5 was 13 minutes long. Yeah, we both just made faces. Not quite sure about that one, but there you go.
It's a specific time.
Yeah. It has been released on home video several times, so it is still out there. I mean, it did run for a decade, even though it was only 51 episodes. But it did run for a decade. I can imagine that those episodes got endlessly replayed. It was a BBC TV show, so it was aired on Children's BBC. But it has never been licensed to home video by BBC Video, randomly. So it's been licensed out to other companies.
Okay.
It was released in the States by a company called Family Home Entertainment and HBO Video. They released VHS tapes in the United States in 84 and 87, respectively, so HBO in 87. So I wouldn't have seen this for the American market. I wouldn't have even bothered. It's so quintessentially British.
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't know.
a British Garfield.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing.
Do you think people would have got? Do you think they would have picked up on that? They got a little slightly. Well, Garfield, what's happened to Garfield? He's gone yellow.
Yeah, maybe.
In January of 2008, so recently as that, recent being an operative term because that was 12 years ago, a promotional DVD containing the entirety of season 1 was distributed as a freebie with the Times newspaper. So somebody must remember this, because I remember this, but I couldn't have told you the theme tune. I could have described Henry's cat, couldn't have told you about any of his friends, and I watched it.
To be fair, the theme song has been playing in my head since we started.
Dun, 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 dun. Well, I can't remember what it is. Yeah. I've completely forgotten. I've drawn a blank. All I remember is the
Beep beep beep.
Henry's cat's face, when read, I was going to give it weird. When read vertically, it actually reads meow. Apparently, so the M is his ears. The I, so it goes. It's MIIOW, meow.
Oh.
The I's are his eyes. The O is his nose, and the W is his mouth. And that was a deliberate Easter egg, I guess you could call it.
So why was the sun the same? Because the sun had exactly the same face as Henry's cat.
Because it's Henry's cat's world, and we all just live in it.
Oh.
Whoa. Whilst researching this, I found a website called kidscrackcrime.com. Yeah.
What?
It features all of the cast, is independently run and hosted and paid for by Stan Hayward, the guy that created it. And it's designed as a children's introduction to the police services. So
Okay.
I don't know where that came from. It's a bit random because Henry's cat has got his own website. It's out there, and this was an offshoot of that. And I think it was just a little community thing that Stan Hayward decided to do. Perhaps they show it in primary schools, or it's a bit random, but I can only applaud it.
I don't remember ever watching this before now.
I'd never heard of it. It's obviously not. I don't know if anyone still uses it, but it's there. There was randomly a series of audio episodes that were created for the BBC, for BBC Radio, and the Henry's Cat stories were read as part of BBC Seven's Little Toe radio show. So it's still out there. It's still
Mm.
being used. I'm not sure it should be, but
Is it a genuine radio show?
like little audio plays, audio dramas, audio dramas. You can do that.
Damn.
Yeah.
Don't diss art.
So I don't know if it was the age it came out or for the target age group, but I couldn't find any reference to any video games. I couldn't find any reference to a board game, comic books, or anything. So I think this was just it was just what it was. It was part of the stable of shows from Stan Hayward, and that was it. It is what it is.
Yeah. I'm really surprised that there's no books.
Yeah, me too. But I don't. I mean, I'm fairly certain I've seen Henry's Cat merchandise in my life. I'm
Well, yeah,
I'm almost
you owned
100%
Beast.
certain of it. But well, I owned a piece. But all right, after being that age, but I couldn't. I don't remember them. It's like a Henry's Cat annual. Just seems like a. It seems like a shoe, and it seems like an easy win for somebody.
Well, maybe. How popular was the show?
It must to run for 10 years. It must have been popular. I remember enjoying
Yep.
it. It was one of my shows, but that was possibly because it was my name on the TV screen.
Maybe.
Yeah.
With such a low budget, though, like,
It,
I'm like, is there any like? I'm gonna ask something which we haven't asked with any of the other shows, but have you spoken to anybody your age, and did they remember it?
I haven't about Henry's Cat. I mean, I've done in the past, like with Wurzel Gummidge and Terrorhawks, that kind of stuff. But I haven't with Henry's Cat, and I don't. I think it's just 'cause I haven't, with what's going on in the world, I haven't had an opportunity to talk to anyone
Well, no.
about it. But I'll tell you what, I will. I'll tell you what, I'll throw a poll up on Instagram. I've been looking for an excuse to do one. I'll stick one up there and see if anyone remembers it. I can't imagine. I mean, a 10-year run, somebody must remember it, but I can't imagine it's going to be many people. I mean, you were you're an English child, and you couldn't pick it out of a lineup. Yeah,
No, I only heard from it through you.
and I think, I mean, I kind of live in a little bubble here that because the people I live with know about the show and they generally know what episode I'm doing next. I guarantee I've spoken about it or they've heard it. So they're unreliable.
Yeah.
They're unreliable witnesses because they've heard me talking about it.
Yeah, maybe just run a thing at work or something.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll ask everybody I know.
That's a good one. I shall ask my workmates as well, just as a little test. So, I mean, there's not really. I feel bad about tearing it down, so I'm not, because it is what it is. It's a fairly simple kids' TV
Yeah.
show aimed at a young audience, and there's nothing. I mean, apart from the Chinaman, there's nothing. It's not bad. There's no there's no hugely irritating characters beyond Henry's cat, apparently. But even he's not that bad. Christopher Rabbit could probably do with some therapy or taking the crack cocaine carrots off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's inoffensive. It's a little bit fun. It is what it is. So the
To be
question,
fair,
Hmm.
it's a bit boring.
It is. It's see,
And I
yeah.
feel
I wouldn't describe
even
it as
for young kids.
I wouldn't
it would
describe
be
it
a
as
bit boring.
boring. I would describe it as gentle. So it's a good
yeah.
good story time show. It's okay. We're just going to watch a little bit of TV before you go for your nap, and then there you go. And
Maybe.
then Christopher Rabbit. It's not exciting. It's not overly stimulating. I'm just defending it now. I don't know.
Yeah, but you've got to think that this was being broadcast the same time as kids shows exploded with like imagination, creativity, and trying to sell stuff. And obviously, this wasn't trying to sell stuff, even though you still managed to get merchandise.
Absolutely, and it's. I mean, was it? Did they try and release it at the wrong time? Was it? But they did
I
something.
feel like if they'd have released it in the 70s, it would have done well in the 70s, definitely. Probably more so than it did.
But it did. That's, I keep going back.
Something like Wurzel Gummidge came out in the 70s, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but that everybody has stupidly fond memories of that for some reason.
For some reason, it's a mystery. It's a mystery on the couch. We don't understand it, but yeah.
No, but I
But
reckon that if Henry's Cat came out at the same time, then it would have been remembered more fondly by that kind of generation.
yeah, well, I suppose it's nostalgia almost in it that stuff you look back on like that is always fondly remembered.
I guess, but nobody knows of Henry's Cat.
Excuse me. No, no. But I keep coming back to the fact that it ran for 10 years. I mean, it was only 51 episodes, but it was 51 episodes. So there was obviously I can only imagine that their costs were quite low, and they would have easily covered their costs and made a profit off the production of the show. Just from the
What channel?
it was
What
BBC.
channel was it? CBBC.
It was it wasn't CB. It was prior to 1983. It was just oh God, I don't know what it was called in '83. I don't remember. But yeah, it would have been early morning or for the infant schools for the young uns, not after school job. It would have been a early morning.
Was it so pre milkshake?
Oh yes, was it the pre the closet, pre
I don't. Yeah.
pre Gordon the Gopher, pre all of that. You know what I'm talking about here.
BBC Two, perhaps.
So hands up, people out there who remembers Gordon the Gopher. There'll be a quiz.
I don't know Gordon the Gopher.
So, would you recommend this to someone with young children?
I don't know. Not the first episode.
Watch this. Don't watch that one.
Yeah.
Skip that episode. It was the very
I don't
first
know.
episode.
Yeah, maybe. I realized because whilst I was finding all the editorial stuff for it, I did stumble across a couple of the later episodes, which the animation seems like it improved somewhat.
I can only imagine it did. Yeah.
It was just a bit smoother, and it seems like there was a little bit more money in it. So maybe the later ones, but I haven't seen them, so I wouldn't be able to recommend them. I don't know. It's just if they were really young and you were literally just popping it on the telly and they weren't even paying attention, then yeah. Because I don't think any kids nowadays would sit through it.
No.
Past 5.
Oh no, agreed. It's just not enough for them these days. Unless you'd have to catch them very young.
Yes.
So yeah, I think I wouldn't have a problem. Yeah, let them watch it. I don't think that will hold their attention, but it'll fill some time for them if you're just killing time until you're going to the shops or something. Oh, there is a
perspective.
So there is. Go on, sorry.
I said just briefly. Put it into perspective that this came out the same time. Well, this was out at the same time as Trapdoor, right?
Yes.
They would have been rerunning Trapdoor.
Yeah.
So change the channel and go watch Trapdoor.
Yeah, I suppose if you compare,
It's a little harsh, but
it is. But if you compare the two,
yeah,
there's not really. I mean, I assume that they're for the same age group. Henry's Cat possibly a bit younger, but yeah, go watch Trapdoor. It's far better. But then Trapdoor rules, and everyone on the couch knows it.
Yes.
So, if you had to rate Henry's Cat, I always say if you had to, and you always have to. So, out of 10, what would you give it?
I mean, I'm probably going to be a bit harsh, but I'm going to give it a 4.
A 4. Defend
I mean,
that for the reasons you just stated.
To be fair, it's not aimed at me, so it is a little harsh. But just watching it, I don't think any children nowadays would sit through it.
I agree.
I appreciate the fact that they're only 4 minutes long, because if they were any longer, I feel like it would be. I mean, unless they properly developed it.
Well, that's it. Perhaps the 15-minute episodes are better story-wise. They've had to fill more time, so they've put more effort into it.
Yeah. Maybe it is that.
You're giving it a 4. Well, I initially went super harsh with. I initially gave it a 3.
Right.
But I then thought about it. I gave it bonus points because it's not. I mean, we're really not the target audience, and I can imagine I can imagine a very young kid watching it. It's gentle. There's funny characters. They bounce around. It's colourful. I could see them enjoying it, and so I gave it another point, and then I gave it another point because my name's Henry and I've got a Henry's cat doll. So I gave it a 5. So that gives it a grand total of 4.5, which we've had worse. Looking at you, Wurzel, Terrorhawks. So that's sitting neatly in the pack. So I think it is where it should be. It is quite simple. So it got a simple score.
Yeah, well. Don't know if it was that 4.5.
If you want to go check it out, there are entire YouTube channels dedicated to Henry's cat called Henry's Cat
It's
Forever.
worth it. It's like 4 minutes long. Like go check it out.
Even if it's just an exercise in seeing what used to be on television for children. And as Jed says, it's only 4 minutes of your time.
And then go watch Rhubarb and Custard.
And then go watch Rhubarb and Custard, which is far superior, and then stop doing that and watch Trapdoor.
Yeah.
Or make
your kids watch all of Battle of the Planets.
Then watch Battle of the Planets, and then forget all that and watch Nightmare because that's the greatest TV show ever.
I don't know.
I don't want to fight again. So that was Henry's Cat. We've done it. We're not going to watch it again.
Yeah, not a whole lot to this episode, is there?
There wasn't. I had a feeling this was going to be a fairly simple episode because there's not a lot to the show, regardless of whether it's short or not. It is what it is. But we are on a mission to cover every children's show from the 1960s up until 1995. If we've never explained that before, 1995 is our cut-off point. We won't watch anything newer than 95. And for completion's sake, stuff like this is in there as well.
Yeah, nothing older than 60.
No.
I want to watch like Howdy Doody.
So before we tell you what we're watching next time, I just want to let you know that if you go to our website, there's a little widget on there where you can leave us a voicemail about if you have a question or a comment. And we did, in fact, very exciting, get our first ever voicemail. And I was super excited. When it came through, it was like silly o'clock in the morning, and I just happened to be awake, and this email popped through, and I got, oh, exciting! So I'm going to play it for you in its entirety now. Now, this is the first I've heard this several times. It's the first time Jeremy's heard it. Yep. So I'm going to play it for you guys now, and then we'll then talk about what the caller talks about. If that's all right? Okay, so go.
Hi there, guys. My name is Pedro Mendez. I'm a radio producer, podcast producer in Toronto, Canada. And years ago, I did a documentary about Battle of the Planets for CBC Radio. I even interviewed Casey Kasem himself. And I enjoyed listening to the episode, of course, as a Battle of the Planets fan. But there is a sort of fundamental issue that you guys are missing that explains a lot of what happened and answers a lot of your questions. When Sandy Frank rebroadcast Gotcha Man, they couldn't actually air any of the hand-to-hand combat. That wasn't allowed on American television at the time. So they had to get rid of huge chunks of the original show, which, by the way, was still just a half-hour show. Also, the original show only took place on Earth. It was not a battle of the planets. But in order to capitalize on the Star Wars stuff, like you mentioned, they had to sort of create this entire storyline. So that's why Seven's Arc 7 was introduced, was to try to tie this together. Plus a bunch of the really poor quality animation that was done by Sandy Frank's crew to make up for what was missing. If you go back to the original Gotcha Man, the show is, I think, quite advanced and does not pander to children. In fact, in the original episode, those two astronauts are killed. It's revealed later on in the episode that even though they were, being told they were going to be returned and they were just sort of being held ransom, when G-Force gets there, they're dead. So, and then all sorts of crazy stuff happens at the end of the show with Zoltar, and you find out what she really is. Anyway, the original show, Gotcha Man, absolutely worth watching. Battle of the Planets, yes, for nostalgic reasons, But seriously, watch the original.
Awesome.
Okay, I can't listen to it again. I was trying to listen to them. But
So the astronauts died. The astronauts actually died. We were right.
we were right.
It wasn't weird. So first,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Pedro, for calling in. We really, 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 really appreciate you calling in. That's excellent.
Yes,
It was
sir.
awesome to hear from you, especially since you got to speak to Casey Kasem, which is amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't realise it was only half an hour, which then it does explain why they filled it so much. Because they really
Yes.
they took a lot out and they put it back in. We did mention about the violence being removed, so we knew about that. And we knew Seven's Arc 7 was in there for a reason. We just hated him. Well, I did. But
yeah.
you're absolutely right. If you'd like to get in touch with us and give us a link to your documentary, I would love to see that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll watch that. And maybe discuss it in a future episode as
Absolutely.
well. Perhaps. And I'm definitely going to go ahead and watch the original Gatchaman. Now
It
that
sounds
you said it's-
way better. So he's no
Yeah,
Battle of the
you've
Planets.
really bigged it up.
Yeah, no Beyond Space. None of this. It all happened on Earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds way better. So seriously, dude, we are really appreciative of you calling in, and we welcome anyone else to drop in and give us a line, and we will play you on the show. So thank you very much.
Definitely.
Can you remember? Right. So thank you for that. Can you remember what we're watching on our next episode?
I can. And it is the most 80s cartoon I think I've ever watched in my entire life. The 80s thing. No, not even cartoon. 80s thing. Think hair metal. Think assless chaps. Think glam rock. Think neon. Yes. Think synth. Yeah.
So what are we watching?
We're watching Jace and the Wheeled Warriors.
Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. Isn't that that's
Yeah.
just such an inspiring title? It has its fans. It definitely has its fans.
I can see why.
So check it out. It is on
Yeah.
YouTube. If you've never seen it before, have a watch of it before you join us. I think we're watching the very first episode.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't know if that's a good idea or not, but the very first episode, Jason the Weird Warriors. Have a watch, catch up with us next time. Just before we go, as always, there's extras on our website. There's the back of the box playing cards that we do for the show that we talk about in our after show on YouTube. There's the YouTube channel. You can catch up with the unedited versions, which you really should.
It's a journey.
Our Instagram account, I post things up there regularly. The show notes, all that kind of good stuff. If you want to get in touch, you can email us directly, serialreviewing@gmail.com. You can get in touch via Instagram, or you can do what the wonderful Pedro did and leave us a voicemail. That's the way to go.
Indeed.
So
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I've been Henry, and he's been Jeremy, and we have been sat on the couch watching Henry's Cat. We will see you next time. Say goodbye, Jeremy. God, I thought that would never end.
It's so repetitive.
It is. It was what it was.
We didn't really talk about it except like
What, the music?
yeah.
No, we didn't really. I knew this
forgot.
one was going to be a struggle. I've been kind of.
I think it was okay. We still managed to get 45 minutes.
I know.
out of it.
Yeah, but that was. I feel kind of bad because I wanted to put Pedro in the show. I wanted to put that thing, but we've put it at the end of a quite lame episode or a lame
Yeah.
show. But it was brilliant. Seriously, YouTubers, you got to let us know. It's awesome. I'm so excited. I was so excited when that came through.
Yeah, it was cool.
Jason the World Warriors.
That was nice.
We've actually already watched it, YouTube.
Yeah,
We've actually already watched it, so it's going to be an interesting one.
Like I said, the most 80s thing.
It
you could
really is.
possibly
It's
expose
bizarre.
yourself to.
And he's, I mean, I'll say it in the episode next week, but he's a whiny little bitch. Anyway, I'm not getting into it, but yeah.
I'm curious because we haven't discussed that at all. Because we watched Henry's Cat together the first time,
We
and
did.
we watched Battle of the Planets the first 3 times. But this one we've not discussed at all, so I'll be interested to see if we align our. Opinions.
I'd seen the toy. I remember seeing the toys. I'd never seen the show.
Nah.
And
Well, we'll get into it.
I don't remember. So okay, we're going to do the back of the box card.
Yes.
Did I mention that I'm really excited that Pedro called in?
Did you mention how we worship him as a god now?
Oh, he is. He's serial viewing history.
Yeah. The
Pedro,
first ever caller.
Pedro, we love you. You're part of the team now. You're
Oh,
not.
get in communication with us. We'll have you on the show.
Ooh, we could do like a Battle of the Planets retrospective. That would be cool.
Oh.
We could like pick an episode.
Well, we'll watch Gatchaman as well, and we'll do that.
Oh, perhaps we should just do that. We should watch Gatchaman and get him on the show.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna email.
Maybe.
I'm gonna email him.
He's the first caller.
Yeah, we're gonna smother him with love.
name.
No one else is gonna call
Yeah.
in because we like glom onto them and like we love you.
Yeah.
From Canada, eh?
Ah.
Oh, I'm just very excited about the whole thing.
Guys, we're global. In the
global.
digital world, we are
Well,
international.
you joke, but we've had listeners from Australia, the Philippines, India,
Oh.
Canada, America, Germany, Portugal, Russia,
Really?
and the UK. I think that's it. I think there might be some more in there, but I can't remember them. So
Wow.
I reckon this is going to be quite low scoring. This one. So for the theme tune, we did talk about it just then. Out of 50,
I'm gonna rate it higher than I think you are because as a theme song, it does its job and it's short and sweet. I kind of view it in a similar regard to Nightmare. I know you're gonna hate me,
dude, we're gonna have a falling out.
but it does remind me of like the Words with Gummidge one. To be fair,
Which again was very short, sweet, and forgettable.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I can remember this one's like quite catchy. Is it?
I couldn't tell you what it. I've literally just listened to it, and I couldn't tell you
It
what
sounds so 70s though for some
It
reason.
does.
But it's in the 80s, so you know.
So
Anyway,
I'll tell you.
I rate it.
Oh, go on. Yeah,
I rate it as 24.
24. That is a lot
'cause I know you're
higher.
gonna rate it quite low.
I did. I gave it a 16 because I couldn't tell you what it is now. It only got a 16 because it's fine.
I quite like the.
But that's Henry's cat's voice. You just said you didn't like it.
Oh no, I don't like his actual voice. The voice he gives him.
Fair enough.
That irritates the heck out of me.
So the next one up, so that gives it a 40 on the theme tune, which, well, that's less than half what Battle of the Planets got.
Battle
Weird.
of Planets is our highest rated theme though.
Yeah. So weirdness. I'm gonna go first. It wasn't.
You go.
It wasn't especially weird. I mean, the rabbit on cocaine was a bit weird, but so
Stranger part.
just for the fact that it exists and there is a weird rabbit. Oh, actually, that's a lie. It got bonus points for the creepy old pedo hiding behind the bush, enticing young animals into his house with cake and.
Bill Oddie Thornberry.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. So he got 10, just 10 points.
I give it probably for the similar reasons plus the Chinaman.
Oh, I forgot about the Chinaman. Oh, can I change my score?
Go on, how
To
how
12.
high?
The Chinaman
Yeah.
gets another 2 points, so
Sure.
12.
I'm gonna give it a 16 for that.
So 28 total.
Mm-hmm.
Which
It's not very weird.
because it really isn't. It
No.
really isn't very weird.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
Too
So-
simple to be weird.
Did you learn anything about it? Or from the show, not about it?
The human race has issues.
Stereotypes
Not really.
are bad.
I mean, learning wise, I learned that if some weirdo behind a bush offers cake at his
You
house,
should
go to it.
absolutely go.
Yeah.
Because you'll have a wonderful
So,
conversation about
educational.
bird watching.
Educational factor, I'll go 12 for this one.
I gave it a
Like
10.
you-
So 22 because it taught you stuff you shouldn't know. You don't
I
follow
feel
the...
like if they'd bring it back, they would ram it full of learning messages.
Yes. Yeah. So 20. I think that might be our lowest scoring for education.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I take that back. Battle of the Planets got a 23 last week, so
That's not education in the slightest.
exactly. Impact. Now, I gave it straight up, I gave it a 14 for Impact because I remember the show was part of my childhood, and I've still got my Henry. Well, I don't. My mother's still got my Henry's cat doll, and little plushy action figure thing. So it got a 14, which was higher than I originally intended. But yeah, it did have an impact on me. I do remember it.
Weird. But I mean, you appreciate the fact that nobody else knows
No.
what this is.
I'm going to ask around at work, and I'll be really surprised if anyone else knows it.
I've never, ever, ever, like, even less than Wurzel. Like, so my original number before you said 14 was 7.
Are you sticking to that? I think that's the lowest we've had so far.
I feel like that's quite harsh because impact can mean, like, how much we enjoyed it as well.
Or did you enjoy it, a 7?
It wasn't that bad. I'll give it a 12 again.
You're going 12 again.
Yeah.
So that's 26.
Right.
So this is the card. When you play that other popular card game, when you want to rump your opponent, this is the card that everyone just it's cannon fodder. It just gets wasted. So Henry's cat didn't score entirely high, but I really didn't expect it to.
Make sure to choose the year category for this one.
Yes,
The length.
yeah. Well, even the number of episodes is going to lose to nearly everyone. 51 episodes. If you don't know what we're talking about, every episode we put up a back-of-the-box card onto our website. We have been talking, Jeremy and I, about the idea of a Patreon. You get exclusive stuff. I can set up I'll get some pages on the website that will only be accessible to Patreon members and stuff like that. And for Patreon members, I won't punch the microphone.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that. We've been talking about some more merchandise because it's cool and I like seeing our logo on things. We've been speaking about guests possibly beyond messing around and getting Pedro on, which I still think is a good idea if he'd be up for it. I'm going to email him. Having people come on just for specific episodes. So if we know someone out there in the podcast sphere or in our real lives that is particularly a fan of a particular show, we might get them on just for a little bit and stuff like that. So we're thinking about ideas, but if you do have any suggestions, please get in touch with us the way, in all the manners we've already described, because you're wonderful human beings. And if you made it to this point in the YouTube video, you're beautiful. I love you.
I'm impressed.
Yes, he
We
is.
should check out YouTube watch time.
Oh, I do. I monitor everything. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Please watch Jason the Wheeled Warriors just for that name. It sounds like a roller skating band.
The next episode.
Yeah. Jason.
Your name is-
Oh, I think this one's going to be another bloodbath, but we'll see. You never know.
It's gonna be interesting. Like you thought there was nothing to talk about in Henry's cat. It's the opposite with Jason the Warriors.
Really is.
Uh-huh.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll catch you next time. Like and subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. That's what you say, isn't it, Jeremy? I don't know. You were a YouTuber once.
Yep.
Throw up gang signs. Cereal bowl. Whatever. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.